Here's the reality of what we have learned from efforts to reconcile the church to people and people to one another. Relationships in a Christian community can easily become broken and toxic.
Hurt people, and that hurt only stops when people care for the hurt people.
In all honesty, we are all, every one of us to some degree, a conflict avoider. And the biggest lesson is to stop running away from conflict and reconciliation. We need to remember that things don't just go away. We sometimes think if the other person has left or moved or withdrawn, then I am not accountable for the situation.
When we are still experiencing the pain of being let down, when we're experiencing the pain of someone even betraying us, we almost feel like a prisoner to that. We can feel kind of trapped, like there's no way out. And when we do experience reconciliation, when we experience forgiveness, it's very freeing. In fact, what we experience with them, I think, is very similar to what God intends to accomplish with His creation.
Reconciliation and healthy relationships begin in our own heart when we quietly seek comfort and strength from the Lord.
When I was hurt in the past, and we've all been hurt, reconciliation really comes at the time when we take that moment to just be still with God. In the times when we are still, that's where God can meet us with reconciliation. So as we work through the beauty of reconciliation, hurt feelings are going to continue to arise up in us. And let's place them where they really should be, which is at the foot of the cross.
The hardest part in reconciliation is often our own heart, which is often closed to entry points to healthy relationships. It's self-protected and walled up by pride, vengeance, control, or some other self-defense. We can't even see possibilities for healthy relationships and growth because of those walls that have been built up. The only thing that can break through those walls is love and grace. One person's humility pitted against another person's pride is not able to reconcile a relationship nearly as easily as two people coming together in humility for the sake of something greater.
It is upon all of us to listen to one another while searching together for the sound of the heartbeat of Christ. The Apostle John exemplifies this in the Bible, where it points to him leaning his head on Jesus' chest. John could undoubtedly hear the heartbeat of Jesus. Can we, as a body of Christ, hear the heartbeat of Jesus? We can desire to see reconciliation happen, but we can't take it personally if the wounded person does not reciprocate. Just because we lovingly care for the hurt person, it doesn't mean that they will receive us or accept our reconciliation. But that doesn't matter. Loving and being faithful and obedient are our responsibilities.
Any relationship with another human being is going to be risky. However, when we serve together and when we lead in a church setting, over time we start to develop some very meaningful and intimate relationships with each other. We connect each other on a deep emotional level. And so when we let each other down, it's even more painful and it can be even more difficult to reconcile. However, we have learned that on the other side of reconciliation is freedom, and it's worth it.
Reconciliation in our own lives becomes a soft place for other people to land when we encourage and guide them to seek reconciliation in their own lives.
It's a blessing to help other people reconcile or to just speak into their hearts. It's also transformative. It changes them and it changes us.
My hope is that as our church matures, that the ministry of reconciliation will become part of our church's culture and a priority for each one of us.
I'm praying we continue to be a church that desires our church body to be reconciled one to another.